Are you feeling as if your heart is bleeding from the wounds left behind by the narcissist? Have you ever found yourself lost in the maze of their deceptive sweet words, unsure of what is real and what is an illusion? It's time to wake up. Do not let yourself drown in the fantasies they carefully constructed. The truth is always painful, but only the truth can set you free. In today's video, we are going to lift the veil and uncover 7 undeniable signs that a narcissist has completely let you go. These signs will not only expose their true nature, but more importantly, they will give you the strength to break free from their toxic cycle. Stay with us until the end of the video, because only by fully understanding all 7 signs will you be able to protect yourself from their manipulative return. If you are searching for healing, awakening, and a love that is truly your own, you have come to the right place. Sign 1. They disappear into absolute silence. Have you ever woken up one morning, reached for your phone, and suddenly realized that every connection has been erased? Your messages no longer go through. Your calls are never answered. Social media turns into a cold war where you are blocked from every entry point. It all happens abruptly, no warning, no goodbye. Only a silence so cruel that it cuts to the bone. This is one of the clearest signs that a narcissist has decided to let you go. They vanish as if they never existed. And their disappearance isn't because they're busy, nor because they need time to think. It's because they've already found a new supply to feed their empty ego. You're left trapped in a maze of questions. What did I do wrong? Am I not good enough? Was I too sensitive? While you torment yourself, blaming your own worth, they move on effortlessly to their next target. This is the narcissist's signature cruelty. They don't end a relationship with respect, but with sudden abandonment that leaves you drowning in doubt and pain. But pause for a moment. Look closely at the true nature of this game. When they cut off all contact, they're not just leaving you, they're trying to control your emotions. They want you to spiral into madness, searching for answers. They want you to break down, to chase, to beg, to plead for an explanation. That desperation becomes the fuel that feeds their fragile sense of self. Their silence is not forgetfulness. It's a tactic. And once you understand this, you'll see you don't need to chase answers anymore. Because the answer was never about you, it lies in their distorted nature. A person who truly loves you will end things with words, even if painful, but at least with some final act of kindness. Only a narcissist chooses to vanish without a trace, because they fear responsibility, and because they never truly saw you as a human being, only as a tool. So what should you do? Accept their silence as a gift, not a sentence. It is not proof of your inadequacy, but a mirror reflecting their cowardice. Don't let their disappearance define your worth. Instead, let it mark the beginning of your freedom. Remember, you don't need an explanation to move on. Their silence has already spoken loudly enough. They are unworthy of your love and trust. And when you find the courage not to chase, not to demand closure, you've already won the game they tried to trap you in. Sign 2. They deliberately create conflict to leave you. In a normal relationship, disagreements will happen, but both people sit down, talk, and try to repair the bond. With a narcissist, once they've decided to leave, they won't be direct. They won't say, "I don't want to be here anymore." Instead, they stage a tense drama where you become the one at fault, and they walk away playing the role of the victim. You'll notice the atmosphere getting heavier. The smallest things can ignite an argument, a casual word, a passing glance. Even silence becomes their excuse. Each time you're pushed into defense mode, explaining, apologizing, and questioning yourself. Am I too sensitive? But the truth? It's all a calculated strategy. By magnifying conflicts, the narcissist drains you emotionally. They plant guilt in your heart, making you believe you are the one who destroyed the relationship. In reality, it's their way of justifying their withdrawal, a staged performance, to exit cleanly without taking responsibility. The danger is, the more you argue, the weaker you become. Every reaction, crying, shouting, explaining, feeds their ego. They watch, they take note, and they relish the power of seeing you spiral in emotions they themselves created. Eventually, you can't take it anymore. Exhausted, you just want peace. And when you are the one to say goodbye, they smile silently. The plan worked. You ended it, while they keep their image as the poor victim in the eyes of others. Stay alert. Don't let yourself be dragged into their play. When arguments are no longer about solving problems, but only about draining your strength, that's your signal to stop reacting. Your silence and calmness become the mirror that exposes their true face. Remember, real love doesn't need a battlefield. If a relationship is filled with manufactured conflict, it's not your fault. It's a clear sign the other person doesn't want to stay connected. Don't be afraid when they walk away. The truth is, they're not leaving because of your flaws. They're leaving because they need a storyline for their escape. And once you're strong enough to see through this game, you won't be pulled into meaningless fights anymore. You'll rise, step out of their play, and choose your own stage one, where love is built on respect, not war. Sign 3. They become emotionally cold and detached. There's a painful truth that anyone who's been with a narcissist eventually faces: the shift from appearing caring, attentive, and pretending to need your presence to a chilling coldness that leaves you stunned. You share your joy, they're indifferent. You reveal your sadness, they dismiss it with a blank stare. Their responses turn short, shallow, as if you're talking to a wall. In that moment, you can feel clearly you no longer exist in their world. This emotional detachment isn't because they're too busy or briefly disinterested. It's deliberate. By withdrawing all attention, they make you feel worthless. You begin doubting yourself. Did I change? Am I no longer attractive? Am I not doing enough? And the deeper you sink into self-blame, the more power they gain over you. This is the essence of narcissism. They don't love you as a person. They only love the reflection you provide, the compliments, the attention, the patience, the faith you give them. As long as you feed their ego, they feign care. But the moment you no longer serve their inflation, you become an item with no value left. What makes this so destructive is how their coldness slowly kills your spirit. It makes you feel small, meaningless, even unworthy of love. But the truth is the opposite. You are not worthless. They are the ones empty, incapable of real love. So what should you do in the face of this detachment? First, recognize it's not your fault. Don't let their blank eyes or cold attitude define your worth. You deserve to be heard, understood, and loved with sincerity, not forced to beg for scraps of emotion from someone who only takes. See their indifference as a reminder to return to yourself. Instead of wasting energy trying to please someone who will never be satisfied, invest that energy in healing, in loving yourself. Remember, your heart wasn't made to be neglected. It was made to be cherished. Their coldness may sting for a moment, but it's also your wake-up call. When someone no longer sees your value, it's time for you to see them as your past. And when you are strong enough to walk out of that lifeless cold, you'll realize the true light isn't in their gaze. It's within you. Sign 4. They smear and badmouth you to leave as the innocent one. One of the narcissist's most familiar tricks when they want to end a relationship is to stage a script where you become the villain. They won't leave in silence, nor do they have the courage to confront you directly. Instead, they spread toxic words, distorting your image in the eyes of others. At first, it may sound like harmless remarks. She's been acting strange lately, or he seems to have some issues. But don't be deceived. These are subtle bait, carefully planted piece by piece, to build a story where you appear unstable, difficult, even toxic. Meanwhile, they cloak themselves in the role of the caring one, the long-suffering partner, or the poor victim. Soon, you may notice that people who once trusted and supported you begin to look at you differently. Some grow distant. Some question you. Some even turn against you. And you ask yourself, what did I do wrong to deserve this isolation? The truth is, you did nothing wrong. This is a divide and conquer strategy, a meticulously calculated chess game to preserve their perfect image while casting you down as the guilty one. The narcissist knows the power of public opinion. They understand that if they can get others to misunderstand you, you'll waste your energy trying to explain, to prove, to defend your honor. And the more you pour yourself into reacting, the more victorious they feel, because their goal is not just to leave, but to leave bathed in the false glow of being the one who was hurt. What you must see is this. Their smear campaign says nothing about you. It only reveals their fear. They fear the truth being exposed. They fear accountability for the harm they've caused. So, the easiest way out is to flip the script, making you the guilty one. Remember, the truth doesn't need you to scream to prove it. It will shine on its own as long as you remain calm and steadfast. Don't waste your life chasing after people who have already chosen to believe the lies. Time itself will speak on your behalf. And when they slander you, don't take it as an insult. See it as evidence of their weakness. Only the insecure, those who cannot live authentically, need lies to survive. So if you are being smeared, isolated, or misunderstood, hold your head high. Because even if they paint you as the guilty one to the world, you know where the truth lies. And that truth, that is the power that will set you free. Sign 5. They push you into the role of the one who ends it. There's one script narcissists love to play. Not them ending the relationship, but forcing you to be the one who lets go. And to achieve this, they stage a subtle, manipulative performance. You'll notice them growing distant, colder, but never in a way you can clearly call out. They stop caring as they once did, but don't completely cut ties either. They remain half in, half out, keeping you confused, torn between holding on and letting go. One day, they may bring up the past, mention an ex, or compare you to someone else to poke at your deepest insecurities. At other times, they might accidentally but intentionally text, interact with, or even flirt with others right in front of you. They plant seeds of jealousy, ignite suspicion, and little by little push you to the edge of your tolerance. The more you react, the more innocent they appear. They'll say, "You're too sensitive," or "Why are you so jealous? I didn't even do anything." And when you start arguing and demanding answers in their eyes, the plan has succeeded. They want you to be so drained that you finally say the words, "It's over." For narcissists, making you end the relationship gives them two big advantages. First, they escape responsibility. They don't have to explain or face the stigma of being the one who abandoned you. Second, they preserve their image, sometimes even playing the victim. I tried, but he left me. And you, the one who endured all their manipulation, are left carrying the label of the quitter. But understand this, that's not the truth. You didn't walk away because you were weak. You walked away because you were too strong to keep tolerating a toxic relationship. You chose freedom while they chose deception. This is the moment you need to see clearly. No one deserves true love if they must make their partner the guilty one just to protect their fragile ego. A healthy love will never force you into ending things just to save yourself. So if you've ever been pushed into being the one who left, don't see it as failure. On the contrary, see it as liberation. Because only when you had the courage to say enough could you open the door to real love. A love where you don't have to fight to survive, but are cherished for exactly who you are. Sign 6. They quickly find a new source of supply. One of the harshest truths about narcissists is this. They don't see love as a sacred bond between two people. To them, love is nothing more than an unspoken contract in which you serve as supply for their bottomless ego. And when they feel you no longer provide the admiration, care, or sacrifice you once did, they won't hesitate to search for a new source of energy. You may notice this through subtle changes. They start speaking to you less, yet spending more time with others. A new colleague, an old friend, even an ex suddenly reappearing. At first, they'll deny it. She's just a friend. You're overthinking. But deep down, you feel something is off, and your intuition is usually right. This isn't random betrayal. It's a calculated exit strategy. While you're still trying to mend the bond, they're already securing a new lifeboat. And once they're sure someone else is ready to become the next victim, they'll leave you without a shred of loss. Because in their world, you were never the only one. You were just a temporary stop to satisfy their ego. The most painful part is that sometimes they deliberately flaunt the new relationship just to hurt you. They want you to compare yourself to the other person. They want you to believe you're not enough. They want you trapped in guilt and self-blame. But remember, the problem isn't you, it's them. A person who doesn't know how to value others can never hold on to anyone, whether it's you or their new supply. So when you see them quickly replace you, take it as undeniable proof that they never truly loved. Because real love takes time to heal, and it requires respect to close the past. Only those who see people as tools can jump into a new relationship instantly, as if nothing ever happened. This is when you must shift your perspective. The arrival of the new one isn't your failure, it's your release. If they hadn't left, you would still be drained, manipulated, and hurt. The new person hasn't won over you, they've only stepped into the same cycle you were fortunate enough to escape. Remember, you were never born to be anyone's supply. You deserve love, not because you feed someone's ego, but because of who you truly are. Sign 7. They end things with cruel finality. Some breakups come quietly, but with narcissists, once the mask falls, they choose to end things in the harshest way possible. Not with tenderness, not with a last ounce of respect, but with words sharp as knives. I don't love you anymore. I'm with someone else. This is the end. In that moment, it feels as if your whole world collapses. Everything built with trust, affection, and sacrifice is torn apart in a single breath. No explanation, no goodbye embrace, no acknowledgement of your pain. They turn their back as if you never existed. But don't be mistaken. Their cruelty is not courage, it's avoidance. They can't bear to face the consequences of their actions. They lack the maturity to part ways with compassion. So, the easiest way out is to cast you aside like an extra in a play they've grown tired of performing. What wounds most deeply is the coldness in their eyes at the moment of goodbye. You may be crying, broken, your heart in pieces, yet they remain unmoved, as if reciting the expiration date of a contract. To them, you're no longer a person once loved, but a role ready to be replaced. And yet, within this cruelty lies your liberation. Their brutal ending is not a loss, it's a gift. Because without it, you might still cling to illusions. Their merciless words, though painful, force you to see their true nature and realize you deserve far more. See this as the beginning of your new journey. Yes, there will be sleepless nights. Yes, the question why will haunt you. Yes, you'll feel hollow and lost. But day by day, you'll come to understand. True love never ends in humiliation. It ends in respect and gratitude. What they offered was never love at all. So, instead of collapsing under their venom, hear it as a wake-up call. A door has closed not to trap you in the dark, but to lead you into the light. You haven't lost love. You've been handed the chance to rediscover yourself. And one day when you look back, you'll smile. Because the moment they ended things, what seemed like a final blow was actually the very beginning of your freedom. After going through all 7 signs, you may have realized a difficult truth. When a narcissist decides to leave you, they don't do it with honesty, and certainly not with respect. They choose silence, conflict, coldness, smearing, manipulation, replacing you with a new supply, and finally, they end it all with cruel and cutting words. It hurts deeply. But please understand this, their departure is not your ending. It is the birth of a stronger version of yourself. In the moment of being abandoned, it may feel as though you've lost everything. But the truth is, you haven't lost your worth, you've only lost someone who never truly saw it. They didn't leave because you weren't enough. They left because they needed a new game to fill the endless emptiness inside them. So, instead of asking, why did they do this to me? Try asking, what can I learn from this experience to become a better version of myself? That's when the pain stops being just a wound and turns into a lesson. and you from victim become wiser, freer, and more whole. Believe this, you are not alone. Millions of people out there have walked away from toxic relationships, reclaiming peace and learning to love themselves more deeply, and you can too. Every tear you shed today is laying the foundation for new strength tomorrow. Don't let a narcissist define your worth. Don't let their silence or cruelty make you doubt yourself. Your value doesn't exist in anyone else's eyes. It exists in the way you love yourself. And when you reconnect with that inner strength, you realize they never truly had power over your life. You were always the one holding the key to your freedom. If these words are resonating with your heart right now, remember, healing begins with awareness and it continues with action. Choose to move forward. Choose to rebuild your life, a life not defined by the presence or absence of anyone else, but by the light, peace, and authentic love that you truly deserve. And to keep walking this journey together, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Here, you'll always find stories, insights, and lessons to help you grow stronger, clearer, and freer after breaking free from narcissistic abuse. Stay until the end of each video, because sometimes just one sentence can change the way you see yourself. And when you change the way you see yourself, your entire world begins to change. Because you are not only worthy of love, you are worthy of healthy love, a peaceful life, and a free heart.